This is absolutely crazy. So what happened is that for the first time, Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, fires back for Trump, coming out in a video note yesterday, saying that the threat of criminal charges is a consequence of the Fed sitting rates based on our best assessment of what it will serve the public. Meaning, we do our job to the best of our ability to serve the people. This is how we adjust interest rate policies. And then says, rather than following the preferences of the president. It's absolutely crazy, unprecedented. Now, what is the thing here that is happening? The biggest reason why this is happening, because Trump is smelling that what is going to happen is that even though Jerome Powell, have been talking about this for a long time, is off duty in May as a Fed chair, but as a governor out of the 7 board members of the Fed, his term lasts till 2028. That means that even though he's off the Fed, he can stay at the board. And you know, the expectations was that as he's leaving being the Fed chair, he's going to leave as governor as well, and everything's fine. But that might not happen, and that is something that Trump doesn't like. There's a lot of things to talk about other than this short-term, long-term, of course, the charts, the trades that I'm taking. So let's jump in here, guys. If you don't know who I am, my name is 𝗲𝗲. I'm bringing these very short-form news for you, 10 minutes. Not just news, but daily updates on charts and all that. I've been here since 2016, as I said, been trading forever. If you want this content, very short, very concise, and help you navigate the market, come back every single day, subscribe to the channel, and check out all these videos. I also have a community where I share my thoughts every time something happens. Go and join in there as well. You will be able to see it down in the description. Let's get going. Very important, other than the Fed thing. So my takeaway on this is basically what is happening. Very short, I don't want to waste a lot of time on this, but what is happening, we have to see how it unfolds. But Trump doesn't want JP to stay, obviously. Trump wants the rates to be sub 1%, and Jerome Powell thinks that is going to wreck the economy. What is really happening is that for the first time in a long time, there is a clash, and the presidential suppression or presidential push threatening with the DOJ as Department of Justice to take the Fed chair to court if he doesn't do what the president wants. It is going to be a very interesting time. Now, the reason why it's very important for Trump to reduce rates is because he wants to win the midterm elections. That is also why this 10% credit card rate cap is coming in. He said that they basically is going to force there are credit cards, and if you use your credit cards, which most of the Americans do, there is a threshold on that, 15, 20+% on using your credit card. And Trump came out and he basically wants the cap, not once, but he made the cap at 10%. That's very, very good for the people because they don't have to pay back that much interest. Now, the market is reacting. So one is that the Russell 2000 index, which is basically these small cap companies in the United States, the index of the small cap, like the S&P 500 but for smaller companies, is making new all-time highs, signaling that for the first time there is a risk appetite breaking above 2,600, and the risk appetite for a long time is coming back for these lower cap tokens as well. Why it's important for him to win the midterms? Because he said himself, if he doesn't win the midterm elections in November, he is going to be impeached, which is absolutely horrible. Here on Polymarket, for them, here on Polymarket, you see that what is going to happen on the midterms. The Democratic sweep is at 36% still. This would be very catastrophic for the market as well, just for everybody to know. If Democrats win the Senate and the House, that is a full impeachment for Trump. Everything that is done is going back, and the markets will react extremely badly, in my honest opinion. But currently at 46%, it says that the Republicans win the Senate and the House. So House make the bill, but the Senate is driving basically. So this will be a deadlock because House will not be able to put the bills through that the Senate wants to approve. So it is. We will yet to see. But the reason why I'm bringing this here is because this will drive the entire 2026 narrative that we'll need to pay attention to. Okay, I'm gonna jump on the charts as well. I know it's a little bit of a different update that we usually do, but I think it's very, very, very important. If there's something very relevant, I am talking about it. One of them is, of course, the gold and silver is still rocketing, and we might want to consider shifting. You can trade gold. I am actually going to take a gold long. I'm thinking about taking a gold long. I'm just waiting for a great entry on Pionex, which is pretty cool because Pionex, I do have my bots. You know about this, but you can actually trade gold futures with USDT, which is an absolute banger. If you sign up using our link, there's a link in the description. You can get a $1,000 sign-up bonus, so check that out. The bots are running. Let's jump onto the chart. So, I just posted in the community that I have taken this trade down here. You see it in the community. The reason why I got this scalp long is because I think this sell-off comes at a perfect time for us to have a bounce. on the channel, as you know, the way these are designed, by the way, is that you got to come back every single day, because otherwise you're not going to be able to keep up to date, right? So just come back, spend these 5 to 10 minutes. We spent a little bit more on news because it was very relevant, setting the scene for 2026, but otherwise it's usually just charts, or mostly charts. So come back a day and every day, and also join in on the Telegram group. It's completely free for now, for another 30 plus days. So we'll see how that goes. But ultimately, if you look at the hourly chart and the total, I want to show you the total market cap. That's what I'm usually looking at. If you want to show you the total market cap, what I really want you to see is this AMD played out pretty perfectly from here. So I've been shorting this on the channel. Again, if you watch this every day, you've been here and you've seen it. There was a perfect accumulation, manipulation, distribution, and retest. This is where I have gotten short, and this is where we all shorted in the community. And that was a decent short, about 4 or 5% on our total market cap. But now, the reason why I think we can have a bounce is because of a couple of reasons. One, it came back into a very strong breaker block. This was the previous high, liquidity built up. We've been long from down here, and I said that this needs to be taken. And it was. Therefore, this level here is a very important level where a lot of hedge funds and whatever were short and long at the same time. Price usually drives back down here, which we've seen, and then reverses in a continuation. So I would expect a continuation to the upside. If nothing else, then a retrace to this high time frame order block, which we just touched on there. But until there is a shift in the structure, meaning a break of structure, I'm still expecting bullish continuation. The second reason why I would expect us to push is because this up here, the 50% leg, didn't really get touched. So I've been talking about this level for a long time, and this level, that is the 50% retrace on the daily, did not get touched. And that means that I could see us push one more and then reject on the 4 hour. On the 4 hour, there is no rejection here. So this is nothing else but a retrace on the 4 hour. We went through this last week, but this is nothing else but a retrace to the 50% leg on the 4 hour lag. And if you look at this and you go down onto the 15-minute chart, you see the market structure shift. Again, this is when I got long. We talked about this. I know I'm repeating myself here, but for people who are just rewatching it, this was the level, or even you can take this, retrace, another leg, retrace, another leg, new high, retrace, another leg, new high. So this is what I would expect now as well. Now, ultimately, I am still expecting, especially with this whole JP and Trump thing, the markets won't really like this. I think the market will really like a couple of things. I think the market will like the fact that the Russell 2000 is rallying. I think that's going to be very good. And I also think that the market will like this 10% credit card rate cap, because that means people have more money because of this. So that's also usually is very bullish for the markets. So I do think that we can have a push on New York. Whether that push is going to last to push all the way up here and make a new high, possibly. That could be because we didn't have a 4 hour market structure, and I don't think that it has enough strength to break below the 4 hour now. So I would expect us to come retest that and then make a market structure shift and continue lower. But I want you to remember that ultimately I do think that everything I do here is or everything that I explain now is for the short time frame, and I do believe that we will need to see a major correction as we go into the month, second half of the month, and Q1. I still stand by the fact that I do believe we need to have a correction on the stock market, at least 10-15%, and I do believe that Bitcoin will need to retrace at least sub 80 for us to complete this entire thing. So whether that's going to push now or just reject there and then bleed lower and then go up, I still expect one more push and then a continuation lower. That is my expectation, and I'm trading it every single day. Again, here in the channel, I will follow up with everything that is happening, but also I want to again just highlight that there is the community that is free. I'm sharing everything I do. Sharing everything I do, very important. So I've told you guys that I have taken a Bitfunded challenge. If you're not familiar with the prop firm, basically you're trading with their money. And if you pass a challenge, then you're able to trade, get the capital. Really, it's a one-step challenge that I took. I am going to do a full Zoom tutorial for you guys how I'm passing it. As you see, I opened this challenge last week. It's a $150,000 challenge. I'm up about $8,600 in profits. It's here, $8,400 plus $200 unrealized. I am running this challenge, and as I told you, if you got yourself a Bitfunded challenge using the link in the description, you can still do it today. Bitfunded is going to send you a link with the Zoom that is going to happen next week, and you can join in. And again, as you see, I will show you exactly what I'm doing, how I'm passing this. I'll show you all the calculations and everything that I set together. It is going to be pretty cool. There's a link in the description. Go and use that. And guys, truly appreciate you. Make sure that you're joining in the Telegram. And just keep it short and neat. We will see how the market reacts to the whole situation with JP and Trump. We'll see how the market reacts to the Russell. We'll see how the market reacts to the 10% cap on credit card interest. So we yet to see how the day unfolds. I'm going to update you on the Telegram. But also, I will definitely come back tomorrow as well. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching. Check out this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.